Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on animal kingdom. We have discussed about coelentrates and Ctenophora phylum. In this video we'll start with platyhelminths. We'll talk about the general characteristics here, and in our next video we'll talk about the examples. Fine. So watch the video till the end. In the end you will get all the pointers on the board and you can use those pointers for your notes. Fine. So we'll start with the characteristics first of all. Platyhelminths are also called as flatworms. Flatworms. Why? Because of its flat structure. They are dorso-ventrally flat. They are dorso-ventrally flat. What does that mean? That dorsal side as well as ventral side, it's all flat. It's just like a tape. It's just like a ribbon. So this is the shape of the flatworms or platyhelminths. But they show some very important features which are shown for the first time in animal kingdom. That means from here on, from platyhelminths, these features will become common features till chordates and were not visible in the previous phylum. Fine. So we'll talk about certain features which are features seen for the first time. The first is that they are triploblastic. Till now we saw that all the organisms are diploblastic, the previous phylums. Now herein they are triploblastic. That means they have three germ layers. That means they have ecto, meso and endoderm. Then the next feature which is seen for the first time is bilateral symmetry. That means I'm not going to talk about these in detail because we have already made videos for this where we have talked about the bilateral type of symmetries, triploblastic nature and all. We have already discussed. So I'll just write the features here. So for the first time, from now on, the organisms will be bilaterally symmetrical. I'll just give you an idea. When divided into from one plane, they are divided into two equal halves. So now the third feature which is seen for the first time is organ system level of organization. We have seen cell aggregate organization, tissue level organization. From here in it will start, the next level of organization will start, that is organ system level of organization. And the last feature which is seen for the first time here is cephalization. Cephalization means head formation. It shows head formation. Fine. We'll discuss in detail. So these are the four characteristics which are seen for the first time in platyhelminths and will now be carried on or will be seen in all the phylums till chordates. These characteristics will remain the same. Herein, these are the platyhelminths. They are acoelomate. But they have a body cavity. When we see the diagram, they have this body cavity, but this body cavity is filled with the solid cells here known as parenchyma cells. Now this term we hear in plant kingdom, but plants, parenchyma cells, but these type of cells are also known as parenchyma cells though. So the cavity is there, but it's a pseudo cavity. That means it's a false cavity filled in with cells, and these cells are known as parenchyma cells. Fine. So these they are acoelomate but show a pseudo-coelomate, false coelomate. Then now talking about the habitat. Now the organisms, or you can say the platyhelminths, they are basically parasites. Most of them basically are parasites. So the habitat would be that they are parasites or they are found in they act as endoparasites. Example is tapeworm. A very common example of flatworms. Next is they are also free living. There are a few which are free living. Example, planaria. Planaria. Fine. So in our examples also we'll discuss these two, tapeworm, Taenia solium and planaria. So habitat, they act as endoparasites are inside the body, acting as parasites inside the body. Example, tapeworm. And if they are free living also, example, planaria. Then is excretion. Excretion. Now excretion in flatworms or platyhelminths is they basically excrete out ammonia, so they are ammonotelic. They are ammonotelic. They excrete mainly ammonia. They are live in watery medium. We all know that ammonia is very toxic, so their main excretory product is ammonia, so they are known as ammonotelic also. Now herein they have a specific feature. I'll write it with a different color. They have special flame cells which are also known as solenocytes, or also called as protonephridia. So these are the excretory structures. If you see the structure, if I make the structure here, so you will see this is the structure of a flame cell, and inside the flame cell this is a cell with all this cytoplasm and all present, and herein they have a tuft of cilia present, and due to this flickering motion of this tuft of cilia, they show a flickering motion like a flame, so they are known as flame cells. So these are the flame cells which are responsible for excretion. I'll write here what are they. They are the flame cells. I'll just, so that you can clearly see. So these are the main basic characteristics. Now we have talked about the habitat, the excretion, and now the digestive system. Digestive system. If we talk about digestive system, now they are parasites, so they already take in digestive food. So the endoparasites, they do not need a digestive system. So no, I'll write DS for digestive system. No digestive system for endoparasites as they take digested food. Digested food only. Fine. And when we talk about free living, in free living, the digestive system is incomplete. The incomplete type of digestive system, that is have blind sac type of digestive system which has only one opening, act as both mouth and the excretory part, so mouth and anus. So free living, that is planaria, they have blind sac type of digestive system which is incomplete. Next is the nervous system. Nervous system. Now nervous system, in case of platyhelminths, they show, as I already told you, they show cephalization, but still no proper head. Cephalization is head formation. Fine, the head formation starts, but there is no brain development, no proper brain formation. The nerve cells or the nerve cells are placed in a ladder-like arrangement. Ladder-like arrangement. Fine. The nerve cells are there in a ladder-like arrangement scattered in the body of the platyhelminths, but no head formation is there, but no proper brain formation is there. Then is the reproduction. Reproduction in the platyhelminths. Now when we talk about reproduction, obviously they are hermaphrodites. So they are hermaphrodites having both male and female part, are hermaphrodite, but still show cross fertilization. Cross fertilization. Fine. Fertilization is internal. Internal fertilization is there, and development. Development can be direct or indirect, both. Direct in case of, I'll write with a different pen, direct in case of free living, wherein directly the new organism is formed, for example in planaria. And in indirect, the larval stage is there. Have larva formed first. Example, tapeworm. Tapeworm. So these are the main characteristics of platyhelminths. We have discussed about the general characteristics, a few features which are first time seen in platyhelminths. We have talked about the habitat, excretion, digestive system, nervous and reproductive system. A very important characteristic feature of platyhelminths, presence of flame cells. We have studied the diagram, are also known as solanocytes and protonephridia. So in our next video, we'll talk about the two examples, the ctenophora or the tapeworm and the planaria. So till then, keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.